Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about Superman and Lois, Season 1, Episode 2, Heritage. And yes, Season 1 because it was just announced recently that a Season 2 has been confirmed. And yes, I saw this episode just now, and so I'm gonna try to do this by heart, remembering what I just saw. And I think it was another really good episode. I think um, I haven't enjoyed. Well, okay, I've enjoyed Arrowverse shows in recent years, but I think because this is a new one and it feels really fresh right now, like a breath of fresh air. Like I felt like Batwoman was kind of like this is starting to get into familiar territory. But with this whole teenage son angle, I do feel like this one is bringing something different. There are a little bit of those superhero-ish tropes that the show does deal with as well, but I think there's maybe it's also to do with the fact that it's Superman, one of my all-time favorite superheroes. I think is also what's adding to the excitement. And I'm not seeing a lot of reviews out there. I'm like wondering what the heck. I saw a little bit for the pilot. So I thought to myself, well, then I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about the show maybe every week. I don't know. This is my second review after all, so let's get right into it. So we start off this episode with the Kent family, I guess, Clark and his sons and Lois, all driving off to the farm, packing up, and then going to the farm from Metropolis to Smallville, and settling into their new lives. And they think it's going to be all fine and dandy, but as we quickly learn, it's not going to be so sunshine and rainbows after all. There's still plenty of drama. After all, this is a drama show, so you need to have a lot of that drama, and some of it did get into CW territory, but not as it didn't annoy me as much as I thought it would. But we have to see how the progression of this show goes. There are things in here that are worrying me a little bit for the future of the show, but we'll see how it progresses. One of those things are Jordan. Jordan, he's the one with social anxiety, and we find out last week that he has these powers. And Clark and Lois think it's best for Jordan not to go to school. They want to keep their eye on him and they want to study him, see how his powers are developing. So Clark decides to bring him to the Fortress of Solitude, which I thought was really cool. Obviously, the Fortress of Solitude looked a little bit different than we saw it in Supergirl. Supergirl looked a little bit more cheaper looking, but this one, it actually looked pretty cool. Although I did think the effect for Jor-El, seeing Jor-El was cool, but like seeing the effect of him being a hologram, that's where it started looking to me, oh, no, wait. There's the TV side of things. It looked better than what I guess in the other Arrowverse shows, what they would have done. I know we've seen a hologram of like Supergirl's mother before in older seasons, and it probably looked better than that, but like it's starting to show the television effects side of thing that, yeah, this is television quality still. It might have a higher budget than most Arrowverse shows, but this is where it really shows that it's a television show. But look, I like Jordan, Clark showing Jordan Krypton's past, showing that it was a war that destroyed Krypton eventually. So that was really cool. And later on, we learned that Jordan's powers might have been a one-time thing, according to Jor-El, that maybe he might not even have this power again. So clearly, from what Jor-El pointed out, was that he's not you. He's not Kal-El, basically, and he'll never be like Superman. So whether these powers will come back or not, we'll have to wait and see. I think they will. I think it's just his powers manifesting a little bit and starting to develop. I also believe that Jonathan will eventually get powers as well. It wouldn't surprise me if one day, even if they wait until season 2 to showcase it, that Jonathan gets powers. Yeah, I really thought that was cool. I really liked Clark helping out Jordan a little bit. I just didn't like the way Jordan acted sometimes. Like when he found out that he doesn't have powers, or the powers are never going to be as on par with his father's. It's like he gets upset with Clark about it, and I'm like, come on. Like, what do you want Clark? What do you want your father to do? You want him to magically wave his hands and give you powers or something? It's like, that's the part that annoys me a little bit. It's like, come on, this is unnecessary anger. I get it, you're a teenager, but get over it. I mean, that's what I would say if I was there. And then we have this whole Lois investigation thing. Lois is investigating Morgan Edge because she finds out he is coming to town to be at a not a council. Was it a council? It was a meeting, a town city hall meeting. And he's laying down his plans for the town. And Lois knows something's up. You know, she has a reporter's eye. And I really did like seeing Lois do the reporting thing, man. It's like, we've seen her in other versions doing the reporting thing too. But I'm telling you, Elizabeth Tulloch, she's 2 episodes in, and I'm loving her as Lois more than I did in her first 2 entries into the Arrowverse as Lois Lane. I think the material she's getting here, I know a lot of people are saying she hasn't really been given a lot yet, and I'll agree, but I think this is the start of something, and I can tell she is probably loving this show more than her first 2 appearances. And I think she was great in her first 2 appearances, but she feels more like a real character to me right now, where in Crisis and Elseworlds, she felt more like she was playing, like, hey, I'm playing Lois Lane. But now it feels like, no, I am Lois Lane. And she's doing the work that she's obviously she feels like a real reporter. And I really did like at the end when she went up to Morgan Edge, because she found out that Morgan Edge changed her story and she quit the Daily Planet, which I was like, oh wow, okay, that's interesting twist. But I should have seen it coming when the woman at the meeting invited her to come to the place where she works. And funny enough, she was the one in charge of, she was the editor in charge of that small newspaper place in Smallville. And now she has a Pulitzer winner coming to work for her, which is pretty cool. I'm going to, if I was her, I would give Lois that what do you call it, bonus right away. I'd probably make her my second in command if I was in charge of newspaper editing, and Lois Lane came to me and was like, I want a job. I'm like, you're hired. You can probably take over for me in a few days. So then we got Jonathan, and Jonathan is having a little bit of difficulties in school because of the punk that's dating Lana's daughter. I think her name was Sarah. I'm learning these names much more faster than I learned any of the names in Batwoman. So give me a while, and I'll eventually learn her name too. I think her name is Sarah. Yes, Sarah Cushing, Lana's daughter. Sarah, obviously he runs into her, and this is something that worried me a little bit also. Not only the Jordan thing, but the little moment between Jonathan and Sarah. I really hope they don't have a romantic thing, because I can already see the drama, the teen drama with that one. Especially, don't do that to the two brothers. It's come on. Brothers wouldn't do that to another brother. For me, I don't think so. Who knows? I mean, unless they're planning on going on Jerry Springer, anything is possible, I guess. But I don't want to see like Jonathan and Sarah getting together, and then Jordan's gonna be really pissed about it because he likes Sarah, even though Jonathan knows that Jordan likes Sarah. So it's like, come on, guys, let's stay away from that drama, because I know you're setting it up in this scene between them. There was a little flirtation going on there. And it had me a little worried for Jordan, because I don't want to see that happen to that character. it had me a little worried, because even when they go to the barbecue later, to Lana's place, and the boys go and meet Sarah, that there's kind of a little exchange going on. Like, it seems like, hey, she was happy to see Jonathan, but then Jordan, she was like kind of a little bit tough on, like, hey, how come you weren't in school? What's up with that, huh? And she just walks off afterward, and that scene was a little awkward too. And I know it was supposed to be played that way, but I don't know. I'm getting some signals that they're trying to do a love triangle thing, and I hope not. I really hope not. Other than that, then we get the Captain Luther stuff. Okay, we find out in the previous episode that this villain who Superman fought in the previous episode, we find out that he was Captain Luther at the end. He's Lex Luther. We notice there's something off about him, because if you know the Arrowverse, John Cryer is the one that already played Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse. This one, however, is black. He reveals his face in this episode. He's a black man, and and he even says he's from another world, and that's kind of the speculation people were already wondering about. Is he a Lex Luthor from a different time period? The likely answer, and I was starting to spin that way also, was that he's from an alternate Earth, and it was confirmed pretty much in this episode right away, where we find out that he's actually looking for kryptonite, and kryptonite is not easy to find for some reason. And we find out later it's because Sam, Lois's father, Sam Lane, General Sam Lane, has stored it all hidden. He's hid it all in a storage facility, and that's why it's not easy to find, because he's scattered around the globe looking for all the kryptonite that he could get to make sure it stays away. But later in the episode, when Superman and Luthor are having that second battle, we find out that Luthor, when he confronts Sam, he tells Sam, come on, Sam, I know you know he's just as dangerous as I do, so, tell me, he tells him that, and Sam actually thinks about it, because Sam had a little argument with Clark earlier. He doesn't agree with the way Clark is running his life. He says, look, the fun times are over, man. This life that you have now, it's hard. It's a hard life to live, and now you're letting Jordan and Jonathan know about your secret, that you're Superman. This is gonna weigh heavy on my daughter and my grandkids. And look, I have a feeling Sam Lane is General Lane, whatever you want to call him. I think he's gonna betray Clark eventually, Clark and Lois, and I don't know when that betrayal is going to begin, but the seed has been planted in this episode. The seed has been planted, and I can see him either teaming up with Luthor, this version of Luthor, even though I'm going to be honest, I don't think this Luthor is as bad as we're making it out to seem, and obviously it has to do with the final scene in this episode where we see a flashback of his home world, and we see a Superman in a black suit. It looks like the same black suit that he wore in the Elseworlds crossover. We see this black suited Superman killing everyone in this army. So he clearly came from an alternate Earth where Superman was evil. And that's probably how his world got destroyed, or maybe even taken over. Now, this leads us to many possibilities. Is this world... Now, he's acting like the world was destroyed, but maybe the world wasn't really destroyed. Maybe this evil Superman is still there and has taken over that world, which led that Lex Luthor to flee that world and go to another one and maybe try to prevent another situation like that from happening when he learned that, hey, there's a Superman on this Earth, but he's different, but he thinks he could go that way as well. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Injustice video game where Superman killed the Joker and then became evil. It seems like a little bit of that is in there. It's not the first time. I think even the Justice League animated show did a storyline similar to that before, where Superman kills Lex Luther in an alternate world, and the Injustice Gang is the ones that take over. They could be doing something like that here, clearly. Now, will Superman have to go to that Earth and maybe save it? We don't know. Maybe that Earth was destroyed when Crisis happened, which I think that's what's going on here. And maybe that Lex Luthor managed to escape before Clark could kill, or that evil Superman could kill him or something. But there's a lot of the cool things going on here, and I think I like where the show is going. I do really love the family angle once again. I'm worried about the teenagers aspect of it, on where their storylines separate from Lois and Clark could go. I like it when they deal with the family situation together. I just don't like, I'm worried about the teen drama stuff, like with the love angle, with one of them falling in love with Sarah, Lana's daughter. That's where, to me, it's a little iffy, but I'm giving it a chance, obviously. And obviously I love Superman, so I just don't want to get annoyed by one storyline but love another part of the storyline. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still loving this. I gave the first episode an 8.5 out of 10. I would give this one easily an 8 out of 10 also. So I'm sure enjoying it. What I'm seeing. There's just some ifs, that's all. And we're okay to criticize these shows, that we can enjoy them but criticize them at the same time. I think if you don't criticize them, you're being a blindfolded fan that is not being honest with what you're watching. Sometimes you want the writers and the producers to hear what we think, so hopefully they can fix it, or they can make sure it doesn't go in the wrong direction for what we don't want to see. So, like Felicity and Oliver, if people made their voices louder on those two getting together, maybe we could have changed that path. I think they fixed it along the way, but, I get it. It's something, the relationship kind of soured a lot of people on that show. So it is what it is. So with that being said, guys, I hope you leave down your comments below if you've seen the episode. Let me know what you think. I hope people are watching this on my channel. I'm really loving Superman and Lois so far. 2 episodes in. I can't wait for episode 3. And with that being said, guys, until next time, take care.